Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk. I'm Tracy Morgan. So nice to have you with us just after 11 o'clock. Couple of reminders for you as we get into our show today with Specialized Staffing. If you are listening today on the radio, fabulous. Thank you so much. If you have to be mobile with us, you can always download the free app for free. And that is on your mobile devices, your Android or iPhone devices. Just get into the Play Store and you can download it there. Or if you hear our conversation with Specialized Staffing today and would like to hear it again or would like to hear it live streaming, then you can do that on WISR680.com. And speaking of listening to this show again, it will be the podcast of the day. So that's WISR680.com. Well, today is our day with Specialized Staffing, of course, Lisa Gard. And it's a good time to talk to Specialized Staffing and Lisa Gard because, of course, we're knocking on the doors of June. And June is actually Professional Wellness Month. And that's a great time to recognize the importance of the well-being of the workplace, if you will, or the professional lives of the employees that are within your workplace. So we're going to be talking about how to be happy at work. Lisa, always love talking to you. How you doing?
Doing great, Tracy. How are you?
Good. And you know what? We talk to you so often, and I ask you to tell us about specialized staffing so often, because I'm not sure if that word is out there enough in what you do.
Sure. So specialized staffing and industry recruiters, we work with companies in the Western Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio areas, and we help them find qualified candidates to fill open positions, largely in the fields of accounting, finance, human resources, administration. We work with a lot of manufacturing companies in the salaried levels of production management, engineering, supervisory positions, that sort of thing.
So what we're talking about today is 10 ways to be happier at work. So, and I know we all just kind of perk up because we're like, yeah, I love my job. Well, some of us love our jobs, but yet at the same time, I don't know if we're so happy when we're at work. Why is that?
And it's funny because you and I always seem to talk about, ways to conduct a job search and how to prepare for a job search and how to do a resume and how to interview and things like that. And I thought, this would be kind of a fun topic. It's spring, we're all kind of tired of the doom and gloom of winter, and I thought perhaps this would be a fun topic because maybe you're not looking for another job. Maybe you have a good job, and maybe you just like to be a little happier at your current job. So, why not?
Let's go for it. All right. So give us the first way that we could be happier at work.
Sure. Interestingly, I think being happier at work actually starts well before you get to work. One of the things that I challenge people to do is to get up a little bit earlier each day. I would challenge you to consider setting the alarm a full 30 minutes earlier each day, if you can, and take that extra time for yourself, just a little extra me time to start your day, to either just relax and enjoy your coffee or tea before the kids get up, before the husband gets up, or spouse gets up. Take that time to do something like meditate. Something cool to do. You can Google inspiring quotes to start your day. You can actually put that in Google, and all these great quotes come up. You can read something inspiring to start your day. One of my favorite things to do when I do get up early, I challenge people to do this, and I myself struggle with it because there's so little time to sleep. But when I do this, I actually feel so much better during the day. So my favorite thing to do, if I can get up 30 minutes earlier, is to actually exercise. And even if it's just a stretch, or some yoga poses, it's just something to start your body moving and again, just for yourself, I think. And lastly, eat something. If so many people just skip breakfast because they don't have time. Take your time, eat something healthy, and, start your day right.
I mean,
so that would be my first recommendation.
And when you say wake up earlier, sometimes maybe it could be waking up but not getting up. Maybe it's just laying in the bed for 30 minutes and just listening to the quiet and peace.
I've done that. I've actually done that. Set the alarm 30 minutes earlier and just laid there and kind of stretched while I was laying there, get my body moving a little bit, and that actually works. So that's just the first. I said we would talk about 10 ways to be happier at work, and that would be the first way, is to actually get up 30 minutes earlier and do something for yourself.
So what's number 2?
Number 2, arrive at work 10 minutes early. What do you think about that?
If I can get there. I have to wake up early first to be able to get there 10 minutes early.
Well, and I say that because let's say you start work at 8:30. And if you're coming in the door at 8:30, 8:28, you're already behind the 8 ball. By the time you get through the building and you say hi to everybody and you get your coffee and you sit down and you read your email, it's almost 9 o'clock by that time. So I say arrive at work 10 minutes early, not to dive into work, but to kind of get yourself ready for the day. One really important thing to do when you get to work is try to leave personal issues at the door. Make the decision to leave them behind when you walk in the door. Say hi to your coworkers. If you're there 10 minutes early, that's the time when you can chat about what did you have for dinner last night, what are you doing after work? Did you see that thing on TV? Go to the break room, get your coffee, go to your office, sit down, relax, read your email, decide what your priorities are for the day. Set a daily goal. For me, one of the things that is so rewarding is being able to see a list being checked off. So I take that 10 minutes and I create my to-do list for the day. And oftentimes I do that before I leave the night before, but then I come in and I read emails, I get my messages, and now my priorities have changed. So I sit down and I kind of reprioritize things. I create my to-do list so that I have some things to check off throughout the day. And it makes me feel good at the end of the day to see those little checks.
So 10 ways to be happier at work. Up to number 3.
Up to number 3, avoid negativity. What do you think about that?
I'm trying not to be negative, so I don't want to answer.
Avoid negativity. I really honestly believe that being happy is a choice. You make that choice. There's a saying, I don't know who said it, but I love it. It doesn't matter if you're looking for the good or the bad. You'll find what you're looking for. So make the decision to find the good in situations and in people. So when I say that, I talk about viewing problems as challenges, as opportunities to do something, to make a difference for somebody. It's funny, I had a car problem this morning, and so I called the dealership where I bought the car because I didn't buy it too long ago. And there were some issues around what would be done. And I'm quite sure that the dealership, the service person, probably had the opportunity to view me as either a problem or a challenge. There was an opportunity there to provide above and beyond customer service, and she did. She saw the opportunity. She went above and beyond, and so I think it's a choice that you make. Avoid the negativity and try on your own to keep things positive. So instead of complaining, thinking about, well, what can I do about this situation? What can I do to make it better?
And by that individual not being negative, she probably changed your attitude as well in not being negative throughout the day.
Absolutely. And I think that's a very good point, Tracy. I think it's contagious. Negativity and positivity, both of them are contagious. So, yes, definitely. Now, also with regard to negativity, I think it's important to stay away from cliques. You should align yourself with people at work who are the people who are coming up with ideas, the people who are trying to move things forward, the people who are trying to improve things. Stay away from cliques. Don't engage in gossip. If you're somebody who likes to stand around the water cooler and talk about other people, you know what happens when you walk away, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're the topic.
That's tough, too.
Absolutely. So try not to engage in gossip. And lastly, in terms of just avoiding negativity and trying to stay positive, if you think of somebody who you respect and admire, either at your current job or perhaps at a previous job, think about somebody you respect and admire, and think about what they would do in a situation. How would they act?
Lisa Gard is with us with Specialized Staffing, and of course, they can help you get a job, or at least attempt to get a job, with their office right here in the Butler area, although they serve many, many different areas. And Lisa's talking about the 10 ways to be happier at work, at the job that you already have. So we're up to number 4. What's number 4, Lisa?
Number 4. You might like this one, Tracy. I think a lot of people are going to like this one. Take a break.
I like it. Yep. I'm in.
Take a break. So many people allow themselves to get so caught up in everything that needs done, and they sit at their offices, at their desks, and they work through lunch, and they work through their breaks, and they never stop. And don't do that. It's tempting, but don't do that. Take a break. Walk away. Get some exercise. Go for a walk. If the weather's going to break, walk around the block. Eat something healthy. Just make sure that you get an opportunity to walk away from your work, clear your head, and do that periodically throughout the day. I think that's very important.
Periodically, I think, is the key, because there are some individuals, probably in every workplace, that take too many breaks, and that can be a negative kind of connotation on the whole office.
Absolutely. And you do need to obviously focus on your work and focus on quality, but you need to take a break. You need to walk away. If you're one of those people who just is so frantically trying to get everything done that you never leave your desk or your office or your cubicle, take a break.
All right, 10 ways to be happier at work. We've gotten through wake up early, get to work 10 minutes early, avoid negativity, take a break. So what's number 5?
Be nice. Just be nice. If you're giving feedback, if you have to give feedback to somebody that's critical, they need to do something a little better, they need to do something differently, they've done something incorrectly, always like to sandwich that in between some positive comments. I heard you on the phone. I really like the way you sounded with that customer. If there's a way that we could turn the conversation more towards this, I think that would work a lot better for you, but your tonality and the way you talked to that client was, really friendly. You know what I mean? You just kind of sandwich that in between some positive feedback as well.
Well, then let me ask you this, because there are plenty of people listening right now who deal with the public quite often, and they try to be as nice as they can, but yet you're trying to tell us not to be negative. But there's a boiling point, I think, for anyone just to say, come on, I need the break. Give me the break, because I'm ready not to be so nice to the public.
Sure. And I get that. And if you're at that point, do that. Take the break.
It's when the break comes in.
Absolutely. And it is hard. When you're dealing with people, there are certainly frustrations, and I honestly think it's impossible not to ever let a frustration show. These are just tips to try to yourself be a little bit happier, even in the midst of, something that might be challenging or, situations that might be a little more difficult.
All right, so 10 ways to be happier, number 6.
Well, number 5 also. So one of the things about being nice, so, you're in a meeting and people are throwing ideas kind of at the wall like spaghetti to see what sticks. And I think it's important to keep in mind when you're in a meeting like that, there are no bad ideas. So when you're in a meeting and somebody says something and it gets shut down right away before they're even really done saying it, oh, that's not going to work. We've tried that before. It doesn't work. I call that lobbing a bomb. And I really strongly feel that if you're in a meeting and somebody has an idea that may not be the best idea, you should still thank them for the idea, possibly write it down, table it. We can talk about it later. But I don't think people need to be shot down. So if you're in a meeting, be nice, thank people, discuss their ideas, just keep the energy level positive. Also, another way to be nice is to share good feedback you get about somebody else. So in my company, we place people in jobs, and sometimes they're permanent jobs and sometimes they're projects. But regardless, we get a lot of feedback from our customers about the employees that we send them. And that feedback oftentimes is very good. They tell us about how well they're doing, how, they actually, I remember one time I got a note from a client. There was a snowstorm, and the client emailed me and said, I want to thank you. Your employees were the only people who showed up for work this morning. My own employees didn't show up for work this morning. I thought that was one of the best feedback emails I ever got. But in any event, I shared that with them, and I shared that with our other employees as well. I think it's important when you get feedback on someone else that's good feedback. Share it with everybody. Make a big deal about it.
All right, so now we move on to 6.
Number 6.
All right.
Don't multitask.
That's hard to do in this day and age.
Actually, I don't believe in multitasking. I don't believe there's any such thing as multitasking. Have you ever talked to somebody on the phone who's reading their email?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because there's a big pause and they don't respond to anything you say.
And how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I know.
Uh-huh. So if you're going to have a conversation with somebody, be in that conversation. Give your full attention to that person. If it's not a good time and you're in the middle of a task, ask them if they can come back at another time so that you can give them your full attention. Have you ever stopped by someone's office to talk to them and they don't even look up?
Mm-hmm.
They keep typing, they nod, they might grunt. And again, makes you feel the same way. So be present with somebody that you're talking to. Make sure that you're engaging in the conversation. That doesn't mean drop everything every time somebody comes into your office. But if you need to reschedule a time, do that. But I think, in terms of multitasking, and think about it. How easy is it to be doing 2 things at once? I don't think it's possible. So the other challenge I would say is and this was so hard for me to do, but I do it. Shut your email off between 9 and 11 and 1 and 3. Unless email is how you do your work,
Mm-hmm.
That's, obviously. But my email is very important to me. But I shut that off between 9 and 11 and 1 and 3 so that I can focus on what I need to get done. And you know what, Tracy? Nobody has ever not heard from me in a timely manner. There have been no catastrophes as a result of my not returning somebody's email within a 2-hour period of time.
And, I think society today gets used to, you need to respond to me within minutes or else I get a little anxious.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? You know what happens if you don't respond in 2 hours?
I'm going to say nothing.
Nothing. You're absolutely right.
Nothing happens.
I had the hardest time doing that. I actually had a business coach that made me do that. And I was actually in a coaching session with my coach, and a situation came up with one of my customers, and I wanted to respond immediately. And he said, well, what will happen if you respond in 20 minutes? And I just had to think, and I said, probably nothing. And that's exactly what happened. So everything was fine. It is interesting. You point out that in this day and age, people do expect an immediate response. And it's funny because as technology makes it easier and easier, email now has been replaced by the instant message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now that's even faster. I shut all that off. For a couple hours each day, and I get so much more done. And again, there has never been a catastrophe that happened because I didn't get back to somebody within, 30 seconds.
10 ways to be happier at work. Lisa Gard, Specialized Staffing. We've gone through 6 of these already. So what's number 7?
Number 7, under promise and over deliver. So I like to say avoid taking on more than you can handle. And I know that's easier to say than do, but if you're being asked to do something that's unrealistic given your current workload, there's nothing that says you can't be honest and realistic. You can certainly voice concern in a positive way. And when I say in a positive way, start that off with, wow, you know what? I really want to make this happen. I want to make this happen for you. You're telling me this is what you need. I want to make sure it gets done. I want to make sure it's right. This is the challenge. How can we make this happen? Can we get some help? Can I have a little more time? Because, again, I want to make sure it's right. I want to make sure it's on time.
Well, and I think if we each had one project, I think that's easy. I think where
Right.
the difficulty comes in is when you're in a workplace, you don't just spin one plate, you spin about 12.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying when you're being given another task, another project, to be honest and say, I want to make sure this is done. I want to make sure this is done right. So let's talk about how we can make this happen.
So
I'm going to need more time. I'm going to need more help. I want to make sure that I come through for you. So this is what I'm going to need.
does that...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, does that lead us into the 8th point? Because I have that right in front of me. Or is there more to under promise, over deliver?
In terms of the over delivery?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the over delivering comes in with if there's an extra step you can take to make something better without it taking an awful lot of time. It's great to be able to do that. And I'll give you an example. So I asked one of my support employees last week for a report. I wanted to find out how many positions we filled in the fourth quarter of last year. And so, and I asked her to give me that in a certain time frame. I think I gave her 3 days to get it back to me. And so she came back to me with that. And she said, I have your report of how many positions we filled. I was able to actually separate it out by recruiter. I have 3 recruiters. So I was able to separate that out by each recruiter. And I actually found that in this report that I looked at, it showed me how long each recruiter took to fill each position. So she gave me more than I asked for. It didn't take her any extra time because she was able to pull it on a report, you know what I mean, from her software. But she didn't come back and ask me, do you want this extra information? She just did it. And it was really very impressive that she just did it. So when I say under promise and over deliver, it's not necessarily something that you have to do, over deliver, go above and beyond. But when you can, I think it's great because I was so appreciative of it, and I certainly made sure I shared that appreciation. And again, it made her feel good that she did something that was above and beyond, and it made me feel great to know that I have people that I work with who think that on their own. You know what I mean? And think that way and think, wow, this might be helpful. She didn't ask me for it, but it might be helpful. So I'm going to give that to her anyway. Did you ever have a situation where you were the customer and somebody went above and beyond, and it wasn't necessarily anything that really took a lot of time for them, but they went above and beyond, and it just really made you go, wow, that was really great.
Sure. And as a customer, you go back.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, 10 ways to be happier at work. Lisa Gard with Specialized Staffing. We're on to number 8.
Number 8, keep the big picture in mind, both at work and at home. So at work, the big picture. What does your company do? What does your organization do? Does it have a purpose? And what is that purpose? And then what is your contribution to that purpose? You may be doing some work that you feel is menial. But when you think about what the overall big picture is that your company does, you make a contribution or you wouldn't be there. So think about how important your job is to the overall organizational purpose. And then at home, think about why are you doing this? Why are you at work? You want to put your kids through college. You want to save for your future retirement. You want to make life better for the people who matter. Why are you doing this? Keep that big picture in mind so you have a sense of purpose that way.
All right, let's get to number 9. I don't want to run out of time with you, Lisa. So if we're talking 10 ways to be happier at work,
Yep.
we're at number 9.
Number 9, learn from your mistakes and celebrate success. So everybody makes mistakes. If it's an honest mistake, just look at it, learn from it, and move on. Don't focus on it. Don't, dwell on it. And then, of course, when something goes well, treat yourself. I honestly think even if it's something like a little latte from Cummings Coffee Shop on Main Street, I just gave a commercial there, if it's just something like that, still treat yourself. If you have a big win, you close a big deal or something like that. So treat yourself.
Well, and let me ask you this, because we do have time for this, but what if it's a whole effort? There are small things that you could say are failures and successes, but what if it's a whole effort where a whole department spent a lot of time into whatever it is and it was not a success? Like, let's say you had a business plan. Maybe you had a business model. Maybe you went out to get, 10 clients and it just didn't work. And you made a lot of mistakes in that. How do you look at the success in what you did even though the effort failed?
Okay. So you take a look at what went right, because not everything went wrong. So what went wrong, what went right, and what are we going to do differently moving forward? And now let's move. Let's move forward.
10 ways to be happier at work. Lisa Gard, Specialized Staffing. We need a drum roll. Where's the drum roll?
Number 10.
Yes.
Leave work at work. I said when you get to work, leave personal stuff at the door. When you leave work at work. So just like you left your personal life out at the door, when you go out the door, leave work inside. Go home, be good to yourself, spend quality time with those people that matter in your life, and, make your work-life balance count and make your personal life count.
Now, some people are going to hear that and respond with, but my boss will text me or call me or, maybe not every 2 minutes, but still, my boss or my company is getting in touch with me after hours. So what do you do in that kind of situation?
Turn off your phone. Why would I would have to hope if you have a boss that's texting you after work I would have to go to my boss and tell them I'm not to text me after work.
All right, and have that conversation.
Absolutely. Unless it's part of your job that you're on call, there shouldn't be a reason for that. So yeah, that may be a whole new topic. How to address
how to politely have that conversation.
Absolutely. Well, and you're right though. Technology has made it so that we are connected all the time, and you know what? There has to be that separation. And that probably is a good topic to maybe to discuss moving forward.
So just a quick review, 10 ways to be happier at work. You have wake up early, get to work 10 minutes early, avoid negativity, take a break, be nice, don't multitask, under promise, over deliver, think the big picture, learn from your mistakes and celebrate the success. That's all number 9. And then number 10 is leave work at work.
Yep.
All right, Lisa, let's get your contact information out there in case folks would like to be a part of Specialized Staffing or become a client of yours.
Absolutely. And, there's always that one time out there where you're just not going to be happy at work because it's not the job for you. And if that's the case, then you need to look for a new job. And if that's the case, we can help you. The company is Specialized Staffing and Industry Recruiters. We're at 130 South Main Street. We're right across from the new Rite Aid. Our phone number is 724-287-8380, and our website is www.specializedstaffinginc.com.
Thanks, Lisa. And folks, also, you can like Specialized Staffing on Facebook. And what's really unique, especially in the month of June, is if you like them on Facebook, you can look for updates on lunchtime web hosting events. They're called Wellness at Work, and they are going to be happening through the month of June. Again, Facebook and Specialized Staffing, they work well together, and they'll work together for you as well. As we are knocking on the doors of June, it's going to be a fabulous time to be able to be aware of Professional Wellness Month, that time to be aware of the professional health, if you will, of your office and your employees and the well-being of your workplace. Thank you so much, Lisa, for being with us, and thank you, folks, for being with us for this segment of Let's Talk. Again, it's always online at WISR680.com. For now, I'm Tracy Morgan with Let's Talk.